Ladies and gentlemen, gather around. Today we're about to debunk a common misconception in the packaging industry. Embrace yourselves because I'm about to drop some truth bombs. The notion that relying on distributors is the way to go, well, it's time to shatter that illusion, okay? Buckle up because we're diving into the world of factory direct sourcing. It's a game changer. Now, before we unravel this mystery, let's set the stage. Packaging resellers often find themselves at the mercy of distributors. They cross their fingers, hoping shipments will arrive on time, quality meets the expectations, customer service is stellar, etc. But what if I told you there's a better way? A path that bypasses the uncertainty that puts control back in the hands of the reseller. Now imagine this. You're a packaging reseller and your business hinges on timely deliveries. But your distributor, well, they're juggling multiple clients and logistics and their own challenges. What happens when a critical order is delayed? Suddenly, hoping and wishing is not a strategy. You need to get direct to the factory if you really want to soar. Now, here is where I'm telling you the difference between a distributor and a factory. Factory, when you're dealing directly with a factory for specialized packaging, I think this is really important too. We're not talking about stretch wrap or bubble wrap or corrugated boxes, okay? We're talking about specialized packaging. You pick it. Whether it's a custom printed job, a stand-up pouch, whether it's aseptic packaging or a spouted pouch for liquids that replaces a bucket or pail, or something that is, let's say, hot fill or microwave, or something that is non-food. Let's just say it's used for agricultural seed or pesticide, whatever I'm getting at. Dealing directly with the factory is always faster. This is why the biggest of the big brands, the Miracle-Gros, the Nestle's, they want to deal with the factory. They know they can hold leverage over them. They know they have the money to be able to get them to do stuff faster. But that's not our customer. Our customers are, as packaging resellers, our customers are those that are shipping to the Miracle-Gros, that are shipping to the Walmarts or Nestle's or whatever. What I'm getting at is, if there are factories that you can connect with directly in the specialized packaging space, okay, that literally give you an advantage over any distributor. Remember, the distributor's taking 20% or more, okay? And you are able to go factory direct. You are able to deal with a decision maker. You are able to deal with somebody there that can move things around if necessary. You're dealing with an advantage. You have an ace in your hand, okay? And far too often here in the States, we've got a lot of people that just think, well, Berlin's a distributor, so I can get my bottles and jars from Berlin because they're going to be, they're not the factory, okay? They're ordering from overseas. They're ordering from domestic companies that blow these bottles and jars and things. They don't make any. Kaufman Container doesn't make anything. What I'm getting at is, if you can find the company that makes that stuff, that owns the tooling, that has the resin, that's buying in bulk, that's able to really lean on that number to help you, wouldn't that be an advantage, packaging resellers? Of course it would. Dealing with the factory is always the lowest cost. Dealing with the factory, not just from a lowest cost standpoint, but speed, added features, meaning being able to get them to run samples or work weekends or do a test run or make a design or a design change. All too often in the packaging space, there are tweaks to artwork. There are tweaks to text in an artwork. There are tweaks to a size. And when you're communicating with a distributor, you're going through a level of another level. Don't think that distributor is calling the factory direct. They're calling their person at the factory, who most likely is a clerk just like them. You see where I'm going? And if you're dealing with a couple layers of that and you need something, good luck, okay? So when you can deal directly with the factory and you can deal with decision makers at the factory, whether they're a COO, CEO, owner, now suddenly you can get things done. Let me explain. I hope you like this content. If you want more of it, I put together a specialized packaging alliance, a group of packaging professionals that are in different facets of this industry. We have webinars, we have meetings. The idea is to share information about this great industry of packaging, whether that be from the sales side of things to the marketing, even to the end users. My point with this is I'd love to have you join us, the Specialized Packaging Alliance. Check out the link below to learn more. Thanks. One of my biggest home runs over the years was the Hoover Company, okay? I was very fortunate to work with them at a time, this is 20 some years ago, when the hot, bold colors were coming out. The reds, the really shiny blacks, the greens, whatever. And they had a problem where there was some scratching due to the plastic bag dust cover that was on these vacuum cleaners. I'm not gonna go too much into it. My point was, I found a company that was the actual manufacturer. Why this is important. The solution to this was so odd and so obscure, I needed to deal with somebody that not only understood why this was happening, okay? And that's something that your distributor's not gonna know. They're pushing paper, okay? Dealing with a factory, dealing with a guy in particular, the name of the company was Crystalex in Philly. Not only did he understand what was happening, he built equipment to get around this, meaning because this was happening, he created some equipment and made it himself to make this film so it didn't scratch, okay? Now, and then he adjusted his equipment to not only make this, there's a chemical blend and it was a process in manufacturing. What I'm getting at is then he adjusted his equipment to be able to run, look, they didn't want to run one or two. Suddenly Hoover's placing orders for 250,000, 500,000, 1 million of these things, okay? That's where it became very important to deal directly with the factory. When you can deal directly with the factory, you can also interest them in the big picture of the project. I did not hide that this was the Hoover Company. That's what a lot of packaging resellers do. Oh, I'm not going to tell you who the customer is. I'm like, you know what? The only way I'm going to solve this is get him to understand and get him to be excited about the project like I am, right? And I also explained that I was very close with the customer. I had a relationship with them, so we weren't screwing around with some sort of a quote. This was a live problem, a live project, okay? So being able to instantly get past that nonsense of hiding who you're dealing with, okay? Dealing directly with that factory. Now, the factory owner that made the equipment, that adjusted the equipment, came and visited with me, came on the calls with me, and together we were able to put everybody at ease that we were able to get what we needed and do a trial, test order, another factory doing test orders or trial runs, and then be able to kind of carry this through, okay? Dealing with a factory, not a distributor, we were able to, like I said, we can entice the factory to want to run with us. Not only that, but entice them to stick around long term. Okay, there was a lot of back and forth, months, mind you, on this worked, this didn't work, test this, try this, change that. And there were all kinds of other things with it. But because I was dealing directly with the factory, because the factory had skin in the game, because the factory saw the big picture here, that this was something that not only would solve the problem for Hoover, quite possibly because all the other factories or vacuum cleaner companies, Eureka, Bissell, Royal Appliance, everybody else was going to these crazy colors too. So if it was happening with Hoover, it was happening with them, okay? So the point is that when you're dealing with the factory quickly can make you look like a hero, quickly can help you get validated where the customer is going nowhere. If they know that when we brought in somebody and we've got some success, we've made some samples, you know what they're going to do, meaning the customer? They're going to go on to some other problem. They're not going to continue to look for somebody to replace you. That's the beauty of solving pain. When you're dealing with a pain point, and that customer knows that you have a solution that so far has shown promise, or even better than promise, looks like it could work. They've got a bunch of other problems to deal with, okay? This isn't the only problem. So they're gonna move on to something else, which gives us that opportunity to not only solve this problem, but continue to build the relationship with the customer. And then finally, when we're dealing with the factory direct, factory is willing to not only run and hold inventory, okay, this is an important part, or have resin on hand so the orders can be done faster, or have an emergency safety stock, but they also are willing to be our bank. This is another critical thing here, where a distributor is never going to be your bank. The distributor is pushing paper. They're going to push it, and you're going to be, by the time they push an order through, you're going to have an invoice on your desk. What I'm getting at is that factory direct model allows you to partner with the factory, grow a relationship, not just with your customer, but with the factory. And then the beauty of this is many of these factories, back to the factories, many of these factories no longer have a ton of sales reps, okay? So if you show that factory that you'll be a loyal guy and you can help them and protect them and get them in the door at the Hoover Company, don't you think they're gonna back you when you go to Royal Appliance or back you when you go to Eureka? They're not gonna call them direct. They want you to do it because they don't have the staff to do it. You help their business grow, they're gonna support you all the way. So what I'm getting at is there's a main reason why I'm doing this video where factory direct is always the best option. You just need to know where to go to reach the factory level and deal with the factory and get away from this distributor nonsense, because these guys are not the factory. You're at their mercy. So anyhow, I hope this is helpful. Factory direct is always better. If you can do it and you can partner with somebody that goes factory direct, you're in the driver's seat. Have a great day. Hi everyone, it's David Marinac. I hope you enjoyed that episode. If you want to see more, here's another video that you can check out, and I hope you'll enjoy it. Thanks.